as a Muslim. And I found that, and as African Americans, I found that it was important that you have a clear self-concept. You have to really know yourself, to be in an environment that's you're constantly being challenged in terms of what you believe. And then after a while you begin to realize that the more you study and read and learn, you realize that you find the common thread that throughout. In fact, you know how we use the word religion? We don't say Islam, Christianity, Judaism, Jain, Hinduism, we say religion. So when you look at the fact that religion itself went through a death period where it had very little effect on world affairs. And then now with the globalization, the internet, religion now, we know more about the various religions now than ever before in the history of man. But it's important that you know yourself. If you know yourself, you will find a common sense of brotherhood and sisterhood with other people. Because you realize that the label is not as important as the content. And so you have interfaith, not only just have dialogue, but have interfaith engagements. Like we work with Lutheran Seminary and doing housing, feeding the homeless. These things transcend our labels. And after a while, you're so busy working, helping humanity, you forget the labels. And I'll say to the rabbi, this is my brother. I'm talking about, I want you to meet my brother. He says, he's Jewish, you Christian. I mean, he Muslim. I said, well, what they got to do is he's still my brother in humanity. That's a bigger brotherhood, bigger sisterhood. When you get to that point, you realize that now your religion has meaning, because you realize that the label you have is only identified a small segment of the life you live. I think that's the thing you want to come to, especially in this day and time of globalization and the type of international interaction. You've got to be able to see people for their common human essence, more so than the label they have.
I would just say, I think a mistake a lot of people make to understand other faith is by using the system or rules of their faith when studying it. I'll just speak from the Jewish tradition. I'll often hear say, well, how can that be important to this group? It doesn't say it anywhere in their holy book. And that's the way, in Judaism, that's usually the way it works. It's not in the Torah, it's less important. Do I know that's the way it works in different faith? And those kind of assumptions that you bring to the table, that's, I think, often why perhaps interfaith dialogue becomes interfaith debate. And that I think is a problem. I think the more that you don't try to use the rules of our faith understanding and understand another one, I think that's definitely something where a place to learn. And exactly like Mom said, that a dialogue for the purpose of greater understanding when it comes to religion and tolerance, I think is the best kind of work that interfaith dialogue can do.
I echo both of what you're saying, and I think part of what I really do get is those common threads and that kind of the deep connections that we all share. But I've also experienced interfaith dialogue to make me appreciate some of the things that are unique about my faith. And not in a way that I devalue the other faiths anymore, but it's just like, oh, this is why this is who I am, because this practice, which is unique to my faith, really resonates with me. While also realizing that there are many practices that we share and that really deeply tie us together.
So if I could just chime in very quickly on that one too. We have time for two more questions. Other faiths have made me a better Christian, which I think is counterintuitive to, contrary to some of the things that my family told me growing up. Be careful not to have friends or to be yoked with different types of people, equally yoked with, because it might confuse you, you might convert, you might leave. And in fact, it's been the opposite. I had a Jain student named Nancy a number of years ago who introduced me to the deep nonviolent tradition within Jainism that left it forever. Journeying with our MSA here, which is one of the strongest MSAs in the country, and in the deep observance of so many of our students, on top of like schoolwork and other things, deeply impacted. We're going to camp, a Jewish summer camp, but spending Friday nights in Hillel, seeing the broad diversity within Judaism there, and the unity there. that all that has impacted Buddhism all the way down. I think having the courage to engage other people, to learn, but also sort of see them as sisters and brothers is a profound thing. That absolutely strengthens one's journey. Off topic.